This is not financial advice, it's just the wine talking.
Welcome back to It's Just the Wine. I'm your host, Matilda. Joining me today is Melissa, Tal, and Gassia, and we have a special guest, Stephanie. Today we're going to talk about spirituality, mindset, and everything in between. But before we get into all of that, Stephanie, do you want to give us a win? We'd love to start our episodes with a win, and I think it's just fitting for you to tell us one this week.
Yes, definitely. So I was hosting an event on yesterday actually, and we had only 6 tickets sold. And when I got there, to my surprise, there was actually 14 people present.
Oh,
wow.
So I was really happy about that, and the result was amazing. So I would say that's my win for yesterday.
That's a great win.
Did you post about that event on your story today?
Yes, I did.
Okay, so I actually wanted to, we can talk about it later, but I thought it was interesting and cool. I would love to hear about it.
Definitely.
All right. So
Well, cheers.
Cheers. Yeah,
Welcome.
Thanks.
So Steph, can you start by introducing yourself and sharing a bit of what you do personally?
Yes, so I have a background in psychology and sociology. Since I'm very young, I love listening to people and just being there for others when they have concerns, questions. I love helping out. So when I was in high school, there's a psychologist that came and shared what she does, and it really intrigued me. And ever since, I was really connected to human behavior, how the mind works, how people behave in society. So I did my studies in psychology. In Quebec, for those of you who don't know, you need a PhD in order to be a psychologist.
Wow, I didn't know that.
So there's no master's, it's straight from the bachelor's to the PhD level. And I tried really hard to get in, but it's a lot of requirements. You need really high grades, and you also need a lot of experience. So when I finished my bachelor's, I switched over to sociology, and again, couldn't get in. So I decided to do a certification in hypnotherapy, because it's an easier way to kind of do the same work without needing all the years of studies. So it's been 3 years I work as a hypnotherapist. I help clients with personal issues they might have, but mostly with the subconscious mind. I was a client myself, so hypnotherapy changed my life.
Wow.
So because of that, I decided to take this route, and yeah, that's pretty much what I do. I also host events. I host wellness retreats where we do yoga, meditation on weekend or sometimes 4 or 5 days. And yeah, that's pretty much the field I'm in right now.
Awesome.
You teach yoga too?
My cousin's a yoga teacher,
okay.
so we host the retreats together.
Nice.
She does the yoga part, and I do like the meditation therapy part.
Interesting.
Amazing.
So yeah, we should definitely go
Yes.
to one of her events.
Yeah, that would be
and
really
join
nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, or one of the retreats.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was
Is it like a weekend thing?
Yeah, it's a weekend thing.
Girls trip.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Sounds really fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like a relaxing weekend.
Relaxing and resourceful, and
Yeah.
still a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And anyone
sure.
can join.
Yeah, pretty much.
So how would you describe your spiritual journey, and how has it shaped your relationship with money?
My spiritual journey, I would say, started about 10 years ago. I grew up in a Christian family. I went to Christian primary school where we used to do mess every Friday. And then I went to Catholic nun school for high school, Collège Sainte-Marceline on Bourne.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So I grew up like very much in the Christian religious background, but it somehow never felt like I never really resonated with the religion itself. I just felt like it separates people from one another, and I didn't know that spirituality and religion are separate things, kind of similar but still very different. And I started my spiritual journey, I would say, about the age of 23 years old. And the way I explain it is that I feel like religion is kind of implemented by other people, so people tell you how you should live your life, versus spirituality is like a direct connection to a higher being or to God or to universe, whatever you want to call it. And like no one really tells you how you should do certain things. You just kind of connect to a different energy and just flow with it. And I discovered that because my cousin was in that path, and she kind of opened that door for me. And ever since, I feel like I'm more driven towards the spiritual side of things. And I think the question was, it's in relation to my...
With money.
With money. Okay. So basically, I always felt like money is evil. Up until a certain point, I used to have a lot of debates, especially with my brother and his friends, who used to like say money is everything and we should make a lot of money. And back then I used to be like, no, money is not everything. We should not care about making money. We should just live our life, and if money comes, it comes. And I used to see money as evil, because I guess the way I grew up also, I saw that money can cause a lot of harm depending on how people use it. And then I had to do this mind shift and realize that actually money is energy, and some people use it for good, just like some people use it for evil. So I kind of had to bring that mind shift of, it's not necessarily a bad thing, it can actually be a great thing if you use it with the right intentions.
For sure.
And that applies with everything.
Yeah.
So you can't see if unless something is really evil, but some things, like you said, can be used both ways.
Do you guys feel like money is a good thing, a bad thing? What's your opinion about the money?
For me,
in
money is
general?
a tool.
Yeah.
It's a tool.
So, and just like any other tool, you could use it to your point, to do good or bad. But for me, money is a tool, and I want to use money in a way to achieve financial freedom. And for me, financial freedom is time.
Okay.
So it's kind of like this big circle for me. But one is dependent on the other for me.
Nowadays, it's really important to at least be comfortable with money, because or else you live on the streets.
Yeah.
Like the eggs are like, I don't know, $13 or something. The other day someone told me, like, life is just expensive, and I find, like Matilda said, money is a great tool to have to live a good life. You don't have to be a millionaire, but just like standard
Comfortable
life,
life.
exactly.
But I can see how you can get the evil perspective out of money, because money changes people.
Yeah, 100%.
And the way they use it is not what it was meant for at the beginning.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, people try to make money to support their family and to live a comfortable life. But once you make too much of it, people become greedy and see themselves as a different person and go in the wrong path. So
I used to think that way as well, and I started going to a lot of networking events recently, and someone brought a very different perspective about what you just said. So I used to think that sometimes people start making a lot of money and then they start changing to become like a less better version of themselves. But what the person told me is that basically money reinforces who you already are. So sometimes you don't see that side of a person because they don't actually have money, but maybe if they did have money from the get-go, they wouldn't have done great things with it. So it's not that money makes you a good or a bad person. It just, the more you have it, the more it reinforces certain characteristics within. Right. And then if you have more bad than good inside, then it'll bless you. It'll reinforce the bad. And then if you have more good than bad, then it'll reinforce the good. So I'm kind of navigating that thought lately.
I agree with that. I completely agree with that, actually, because for me also, money runs the world, like whether we want it or not. Like, it's what we're all chasing. It's why we all have jobs. It's why, I mean, let's be honest. But it's a sad reality, but we can't function without it. We need it. And so the more you have of it, and the more of you comes out. It's who you really want to be. You know?
Yeah, exactly.
So I completely agree with what you said.
Yeah.
Were you always spiritually inclined, or was there a specific moment that deepened to your connection to it?
Yeah, I think I answered to the question a little bit earlier as well. I was always, because I was brought up in a Christian family, I was somehow I would say spiritual because I went to church and all of that. But the way I define spirituality now, I feel like I started taking this route at about 23 years old. So I would say around 10 years ago.
Okay.
Yeah.
So do you believe there is a spiritual component to money? And if so, what does energetic exchange mean to you?
Yeah, so I feel like money is energy. So that's
Yeah.
where it would come in a little bit. I feel like it's not just a piece of paper or just a mean of exchange. So before, I used to feel bad asking for money in exchange of services. For example, what I do is I help people. So I used to have this mindset that I can't help someone and then ask for money. And then I hired a coach, and basically what the coach told me is that, okay, but if you don't ask for money, it's like that person will be like energetically or spiritually in debt towards you. So that's not necessarily better because there's still that attachment versus when you take the money, it's like the transaction was done and completed. So you kind of, it was an exchange.
Yeah.
You gave a service, you got the money in return, and you can kind of close the deal versus if you keep giving and saying, no, I don't want to receive, it's like you're putting out that energy into the universe where I can give, and I'm not deserving of receiving.
Yeah.
So, yeah. I feel
Which
like
makes
that's
sense.
yeah.
How do you incorporate spiritual practices like prayer, meditation, journaling, or rituals into your financial decision making?
I don't know if I integrate it into my financial decision making, but I do integrate prayer, meditation, journaling in my day-to-day for various different areas of my life. And I feel like I mostly use it when I have certain blockages. So it could be mental blockages, it could be financial blockages, just any type of situation where I feel like I'm not advancing, where there's stagnant energy. I like to pray, just ask God or the universe, like, if this is meant for me, let it come to me, and if this is not meant for me, let it go. And then just journaling to unblock the mental processes that are not allowing me to get or receive the abundance
Yeah.
I'm meant to receive.
Do you feel like that works?
I feel like it really works.
So how, like when you're writing a journal, like
Yeah.
3 years ago, someone bought me a journaling book,
Yeah.
and I'm just looking at it, and I'm like, what do I write in it? Like I have no idea. What, like, how do you start? Like, what do you write in a journaling book?
Yeah.
Just your day.
So there's many ways you can do journaling. I divide it mostly into two types.
Okay.
Because I work with the subconscious mind. Basically, I feel like there's conscious journaling and then there's the subconscious journaling. So just to explain the difference between both, when you're like subconsciously journaling, it's like intuitive journaling, and the way you could do it is basically you just write. You time yourself for, let's say, 5, 10, 15 minutes, and you just write your thoughts as they come. So no filtering. Like, I decided to journal now. I have no idea why I'm doing this, but I'm just doing it. I'm doing it to see what's going to come out of. And as you're having your thoughts, you just write everything without filtering them. And after a few minutes, like 5, 10 minutes, a lot of things will come out, and you'll kind of have on paper your mental dialogue. So you're going to see how you think, how your thought processes work, which is not something you usually do. You just think.
Yeah.
You can also do it like voice journaling. Like you can just voice memo your thoughts out loud for 30 minutes and then just re-listen to it and be like, okay, this is how I think. So it's a way of analyzing your thought processes.
It's a bit like out of my comfort zone. So for me,
It's
I was
scary.
like,
Yeah.
it is.
Yeah.
Because I didn't, it's very overwhelming too when you're, like the book was big and I'm just like, I don't know what to write. I think I started once and I just wrote like the date or something.
Okay.
And then I stopped.
Yeah.
But I would really
'Cause
like to do
yeah.
that exercise
It's really
because,
interesting.
like you said, it's scary. And all I kept thinking about when you were saying after 10 minutes things just come out, and I'm like, I wonder what's gonna come out.
I know.
And I'm really
I
interested.
recommend. It's really interesting. You also learn a lot about yourself.
Yeah, I was about
It's
to
mostly for that.
I'll pull out the book again tomorrow.
Yeah.
So that's conscious
Yeah.
journaling.
Subconscious.
Oh, okay.
Or intuitive. So you're not really thinking of what to write. You're just writing as it comes. And then if you want to do it more consciously, there's different ways. So some people have gratitude journaling. Let's say you can write 3 to 10 things you're grateful for throughout the day. And it could be something very important, and it could be something as basic as I got to wake up in a good mood today. And then you can also just write how you're feeling. So emotions, like I like to journal mostly when I live intense emotions, whether positive or negative. So I don't journal necessarily all the time, but when I feel like I'm living an intense emotion, I like to write about how I'm feeling and then try to analyze why I'm feeling that way to see if I can get to like the trigger point. So that would be the conscious.
And every day is different.
Every day is different.
What if there isn't anything different the next day?
So you don't need to journal
Oh,
every day.
okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's really come as you go. There's no like direct rule. You build the rules as you go.
Okay.
But I felt a big difference in my life because I love writing to begin with. And I felt a big difference between the periods in my life where I used to journal and the periods where I didn't. It's just a lot of self-aware. It's really a self-awareness exercise.
Yeah.
It really depends on how much you want to know where your triggers are coming from, why you're feeling the way you're feeling.
Yeah, I would actually want to
Yeah. And sometimes it's interesting to look back. Like reading back journals from like 5-10 years ago and be like, oh wow. And then
How
you're
you've
like,
evolved.
yeah.
Wow.
Just to see how much you grew. How like I used to think that way. Yeah. It's
Yeah,
wild.
it's
really
crazy.
cool.
It's like when we were kids and read diaries.
Yeah,
So,
it's the same concept.
she found like my diary I wrote when I was a
It
kid.
was
It was
embarrassing.
so funny. I was
It
like,
was
oh my
embarrassing.
God.
But yeah.
Good memories, yeah.
Yeah.
Just so
Well, I will definitely do that exercise.
Yeah.
But for the next question, what are some limiting beliefs about money that you've had to overcome spiritually?
I feel like it would come back to the same question
Yeah.
as before, where I used to think that money is not a good thing. I used to believe that people who have a lot of money don't necessarily use it for good things. And I feel like tapping into my inner self, which I did through spirituality, I realized that it's not
True.
It's not about. It's not true.
Yeah.
It's not true. And some people actually use money to accomplish great things. And actually, you need money in order to accomplish great things. You
Yeah.
can't accomplish much if you don't have money.
That's true.
So if you want to do great things in life, good things in life, you need money
Yeah.
in order to accomplish them, and a lot of it. So I kind of did that mind shift where, okay, I'm someone who wants to do great things in life, and I need a lot of money
Yeah.
to work. So if I think that money is bad, then I'm gonna
Not
project
make it-
exactly. It's not
do
gonna
the
come to
great
me.
things.
Yeah.
Nice.
So I'll ask my question.
Yeah.
So how important is alignment between your values and your income sources?
I feel like it's very important.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll explain why. Because I used to be in sales, like as a makeup artist, cosmetician for 10 years.
Oh, where?
Yeah, pharmacy.
Oh, okay.
Oh yes, I
Yeah,
remember.
really?
Yeah.
Next to Mashaki.
Next, yeah,
Oh, okay.
exactly. I worked there for 10 years, and like you get trained, right, to sell the products, and we were commission based, so I would like really try to sell the products in order, because the more you sold, the more you made money. And initially I didn't understand that that's what I was doing. So I was basically manipulating people into buying things that I don't necessarily agree with, that don't really work, like kind of bullshitting people into buying things that they don't necessarily need. And I feel like if it's something that is not aligned with your values, so personally I'm not someone who's really into those kind of things, and I was still selling things that I didn't believe in. So I knew that, let's say, the anti-aging cream that cost $400 for the Le Peau wouldn't really help you not have wrinkles, but I would still push and sell it. So now knowing what I know, I don't think I would go back and doing that. I feel like it's okay to sell things that you actually believe in and you feel like it works. I mean, I'm not saying that selling cosmetics products is necessarily a bad thing if you believe in it. But I was going against my values, against my beliefs, to sell something that I don't really believe in. So I feel like it's still important to be aligned with your values.
Yeah, or do your own research and
Yeah,
stuff.
exactly.
So, like, to follow up that question, would you turn down an opportunity because it doesn't align with your values?
Yeah. I also feel, because I feel a certain blockage. I feel like if I get an opportunity that's not necessarily aligned with my values, then I don't succeed as well as I would if I would take an opportunity that's aligned with my values.
That's a great point.
Yeah.
Because you wouldn't give it all because
Exactly.
you know
Yeah.
it's really
It's
not what.
energetical.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And yeah.
Sorry, no, continue.
Yeah.
No, I was gonna say the more you believe in something, the more likely it is to be the best version of it.
100%.
I was listening to a podcast. I think it was Alex Cooper, or yeah, it was her, and I think she was saying how, like, you know, I had like this crazy deal. It was like $8 million deal, but I turned it down because I didn't believe in it. And I'm like, wow, like honestly, $8 million, like,
Yeah.
I would bullshit my way. I'm joking. But like, I mean, that's something that you're mentioning. It's like crazy that how, you know, now that she's big, I would assume that she would take that deal, you know? It's,
But you know, we actually made a reel about this with It's Just a Wine. There's a professional football player who turned down $1 million a week to go play for a Saudi club because it didn't align with his values. And that to me is massive. And to me, in my mind, I think you get to say no to opportunities when you've reached a certain level of freedom.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes you cannot afford to say no, and it sucks, but you gotta hustle, you gotta do what you gotta do, and you do it. But to be able to say no to something because it just doesn't fit, it's not something you believe in, I think is a level of freedom that we all wanna achieve. Because then, like, what a thing to be like, no.
Yeah.
I can't wait to say no to everything.
I think it also depends on your belief system. Because I believe in what goes around comes around.
Yeah.
So I feel like if you do something that goes against your values, then it'll somehow come back to you at some point in your life.
I so believe in that because you don't know how quick karma hits me.
Yeah.
Okay, relax.
I am not kidding.
Okay, Mel.
Karma hits me extremely
That's
quick.
in your head.
No, I believe that.
So do you
What
think...
do you do? Sorry, what do you do that karma comes back to you?
It was actually a few months ago. I don't remember what happened.
You didn't hold the door for someone?
No, it was something like it happened a day after.
And then the door got slammed.
I don't remember what it was, and I even told my mom, I'm like, I have to do the right thing because karma will hit me instantly. And something had happened. I can't remember what because it has happened so many times, like karma hitting me. Not that I do anything bad, but like if I don't help an old person, I'll feel bad. And let's say I don't help that person when I see that person needs help, then the next day I'll be in a position where I need help. And I'll be like, yes, it's connected to that. You might not believe it, but
So
this
is the question I'm waiting for you to finish to ask. Do you think these things happen to those who believe in karma? Or do you think that that's how it's justified?
So I think it happens to everyone.
Okay.
I think it depends. I think everything comes down to level of awareness. So I think it really depends on how aware you are of what's going on around you for you to associate it to something that happened. For example, if she's aware of that, then she's associating it. Okay, she needed help the next day. So in her head, she made the link that, okay, maybe I need help today because yesterday I didn't help that lady. So she has a level of self-awareness that she's able to make that link versus someone who doesn't have that level of self-awareness just goes on with their day without creating that link.
That's me.
So I feel that's what it comes down
opposites in
to at the end of the day.
Yeah. I'm not able to make the link.
So whether you believe in it or not, it happens. It's just to which level are you aware that is happening or not? To which level are you able to connect the dots? And how quick are you able to connect the dots? And I believe in that as well because my karma is quick. So usually if someone does something to me, the karma is quick. And my boyfriend made me realize that.
karma is quick.
Yeah. Like it's
like opposite direction.
Yeah.
So do you do the right thing because you're afraid of
Yeah, that's what I was gonna.
Not necessarily.
what's coming?
Not necessarily, but I believe that you know in the back of your head it is the right thing to do.
Yeah.
So the fact that you're denying it is what's gonna hit karma. Not because it's because I always do the right thing. I always help people around me.
I'm an advocate on this. You are something like, I think we're going out. This was like
It was
3
F1
years
weekend.
ago.
I remember this weekend.
Two,
It
3
was
years
F1
ago.
weekend.
No. It was, I think, icy outside or something.
It was F1 weekend. It was raining.
Okay.
It was pouring.
So we're on the street. Okay, it's like this, and then there's this poor man with a wheelchair going up, but he keeps going back down. And I'm like, Mel, like, what do I do? Do I stop? And she goes, stop right now. No one's helping him. And she was getting so upset. I remember you were getting so upset. You're like, stop the car right now. And I stopped the car, and she goes out, and then she's going, and she saw finally someone helped, and she was like so relieved at the end. Like, I feel like you always want to help people around, of course, because it's not,
For me to see that and not doing it makes me a bad person.
Yeah, of course.
If I didn't see it, and but like to see it, knowing, being aware that helping is the right thing and not doing it, I can't do that.
Yeah.
And because of that, karma will hit me the next day.
Interesting. Have you ever analyzed where that comes from? Like why you have this belief?
She's an overthinker. Could that be? She is an overthinker. I don't know if that kind of...
Why I have a belief of karma hitting me the next day.
Let's say, yeah. Or why do you believe that if you feel like you see that someone needs help, you have to help them?
Because this might sound crazy, but I believe that God thinks I'm kind enough to do this. That way he has positioned me to do this. That way he has positioned me to do this, to force me to be the best version of myself.
Okay.
That is deep.
I believe in God like a lot.
Yeah.
So
We have very different beliefs.
Oh yeah?
And we came from the same parents, so it's funny.
I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. Everybody...
No.
Well,
Beliefs.
what do you think about my belief?
I mean, I highly believe in God, so I would agree with what you're saying. I just, no matter what, it's not about agreeing or not. I always love going back to why you think that way. Like, yes, there's the spiritual side of it, but me, I'm very 50-50 in the sense that I used to be super spiritual, and it brought me down a road that... not a nice road. So I was so spiritual that I kind of disconnected from reality, like dissociation. So I had to come back and be like, okay, ground myself back and understand that, yes, we are spiritual beings, but at the end of the day, we are also physical beings. So kind of to find a balance between both. So even if things like that happen, I like to come back in the 3D physical world and try to understand why it's happening at this level.